there's like maybe the roots for a movement. And of course we already knew about the Plataforma in Spain, and this was maybe one possible example for a next step in the movement. So in 2012 then a couple of things happened which were kind of important. First, a migrant tenant group formed itself. This was very important because it opened new ways of communication and mobilization to a group of population which hadn't been part of the movement before. So, and then also, almost by coincidence, activists from the movement found a poster from her name is Nuria Cengiz, and she was facing an eviction, and she just put out posters on like the walls around her flat, and where she was saying, I'm facing an eviction, but I don't want to go, I will stay. So people from the movement visited her, and the idea was born to like make a single case campaign for Nuria Cengiz to keep her in her home. Alright, so in this summer, in 2012, so last year, another affected family, also from Kreuzberg, I forgot to mention this. This all happened in Kreuzberg, which is a borough in the middle of the city. It's a multicultural borough. It's partly gentrified, but also partly poor. So another affected family from Kreuzberg found its way to the Nuria Cengiz group because they have heard about the case of Nuria Cengiz. And the name of the family is the Gülboy family. And they were facing an eviction by a private landlord and called kind of actively for help. They came and they wanted to say, we need help, but we also want to fight. So, and this was maybe the moment like our platform was born, because it was very clear that this moment was a moment to start a platform against evictions based on this Gülboy case, which Laura is now going to present.
Yeah. Can you? Yes. So the Gülboy. No, not you. So the Gülboys are a Turkish couple with 3 children who grew up in Germany, and yeah, they were in danger of being evicted after a rent increase of the owner, and the owner, as Stefan mentioned, is a private owner. He's a private businessman who owns about 15 houses throughout the city. And their case was kind of emblematic or symbolic for the situation in Berlin. So we picked it. Of course, we picked it because they asked us for help, but we also decided to make it big because it is a Turkish workers' family who has been living in our city for 40 years now, helping, like, being part of the society, and is then being thrown out of their flat and out of the neighborhood that Turkish people had created and made lively. So, and they should make space for white middle-class tenants. So that seems so unjust that it was a good case. And also we were very lucky to find the Gülboys as a case, because the father of the family, Ali Gülboy, who's speaking there, he has the sign in Arabic, and the signs are obviously copied from Plataforma, so we learned from them. And yeah, he's really a charismatic guy, and people can easily identify with him, so this was like our luck, because he's also very good at speaking and likes it, and speaking with the media and stuff, so this was really luck. So when we started to work on the case, we had a lot of meetings before the first action, so we tried to figure out what kind of support the family wanted, and the family stated that, yeah, we really want to make a stand. So finally, when the family got their eviction note, we agreed on organizing a blockade, but a blockade that would not be publicly announced. So we did this kind of silent mobilization. Which means we gave small leaflets to all our friends and activists and called them to come to this blockade, but not doing it publicly so that police wouldn't get informed about the blockade beforehand. So on the day of the eviction, it was like 150 people came and sat down in front of the house of the Goebbels and on the staircases, so you can see it there. And the bailiff had to leave without doing anything. So this was our first success, and it got covered by the media. And after the blockade, we instantly made public what had happened. We showed our success. We did some professional media work. We had press speakers. We put up a supporters list with musicians, local shops, associations, and scientists, for example, who publicly declared their solidarity with the Goebbels and who announced to participate in the next blockade. So these were the next step after the first successful blockade. Then we also put on an SMS list for people who wanted to get informed about the next eviction. So right now, some month after this first eviction, we have more than 500 people on this list who want to get informed and who come to our actions. So when the next eviction note came, we mobilized for a second, this time publicly announced blockade. And as there was big pressure by the media, the bailiff postponed the second date of the eviction, so second success. And so in the meanwhile, other people had come to our platform and asked for help. So this was constantly like developing and getting bigger and better maybe. So the third try turned out to be quite big. It was in February of this year. As we had been successful for 2 times and the media was covering the case, there were coming more and more people to help us and to engage in the platform. And then we decided to put like mainly pressure on the owner and not on politicians. We made a demonstration to his house. This is his house. It looks really nice. He lives in a very rich neighborhood, but we just went there to inform his neighbors what he is doing at work. And then we also had public events to inform about what would happen on the 14th of February, so this big blockade. We had neighborhood assemblies in this neighborhood, in Kreuzberg. We had an event in cooperation with a leftist Turkish organization, only in Turkish, where Ali and another affected woman spoke only in Turkish, so this was also important for us, that it's not mainly a white movement. And we mobilized a lot, as you can see, with posters and handmade banners, which are like kind of friendly looking. And the thing got that big that even politicians of this socialist party I mentioned before wanted to be part of our movement, and the leader of this party announced that he would come to the blockade. Actually, he didn't come, he didn't show up, is it? I don't know, we don't know. But they were trying to hitchhike this, but we refused it. We let them speak, but they were not included in our meeting or anything else. So we put a Facebook account and a Twitter account. We are working quite often with a filming collective that is filming our actions, and a collective of photographers who join us in almost every public actions we are doing. So then, I'm going to stop soon. Then we did a warm-up demonstration, there's a photo as well. A week before the demonstration, the blockade, so this is how it looked like. And this was also very important for us. At this demonstration, mostly affected people spoke, and mostly they did it the first time in their lives. So this had like an empowering effect on those people who were affected. And then finally, the 14th of February, came, and we have a small video on that, and you can see what happens there.
Berlin-Kreuzberg, 14. Februar. Um 6 Uhr sperrt die Polizei die Lausitzer Straße ab. Vor dem Haus mit der Nummer 8 haben sich hunderte Menschen in einer Sitzblockade versammelt. Das Aktionsbündnis gegen Zwangsräumung mobilisiert, um eine Zwangsräumung zu verhindern. Wegen einer zu spät überwiesenen Nachzahlung hatte der neue Eigentümer der Lausitzer Straße 8, Familie Gülbull, erfolgreich ausgeklagt. Nun soll die Wohnung der Familie zwangsgeräumt werden. Zum 3. Mal. Der erste Versuch war im Oktober vergangenen Jahres durch Nachbarinnen und Nachbarn verhindert worden.
Ich komme aus dem Prenzlauer Berg und habe mich da mit dem Vermieter in der Wohnung. Der macht nichts in der Wohnung. Aber die Mieterhöhung, die schickt er. Und dann bleibt mir nur über, mich gegen Mieterhöhung zu wehren. Nicht etwa, dass der Vermieter was draufkriegen würde, wenn er zu viel verlangt. Nee, ich muss mich da was wehren. Ich muss eine Rechtsschutzversicherung bezahlen, damit ich mir so
Mit Pfefferspray und Faustschlägen wurde die Räumung schließlich durchgesetzt.
Wir haben es auch schon versucht, mich rauszutreiben aus meiner Wohnung, weil ich schon hier über 10 Jahre wohne. Also nicht so viel Miete bezahle, ist doch klar, was ich wollte.
So this is Noria Cengiz, who's still active in the Homo movement.
Es gab eine Situation der Enge und plötzlich kam mit Pfefferspray schwarze Salbe ab und ich habe mich auch geschrien, es war auch ein unglaublicher Schmerz und ich habe mich dann für mich geglückt für einige Momente und versuchte dann Wegen frei und mit seiner Hand hat mich dann auch ausgezogen, da wurde ich dann gleich zum Sanitäter gebracht, der dann meine Augen angelegt hat.
Ob wir Zwangsmittel eingesetzt haben, weiß ich zum jetzigen Zeitpunkt noch nicht.
Über den Hinterhof der angrenzenden Wiederstraße verschaffte sich Polizei und Gerichtsvollzieherin Zugang zum Haus.
So viele Jahre, wir haben für Leute gearbeitet, wir haben alles mitgemacht, aber leider, wir haben keine Chance. Jetzt, das wird meine Sohn rausgeschmissen, drei Kinder, jetzt schafft es.
Also um 6 Uhr haben wir einen lauten Knall gehört und dann haben wir auch mitgekriegt, dass die Polizei über die Wienerstraße 13 den Zaun aufgeschnitten hat und die Tür eingebrochen und so in unserem Treppenhaus und in hochgekommen sind, da bin ich runter und da war die Gerichtsvollzieherin dann da, hat mich eigentlich bereit bin, den Schlüssel abgegeben, ansonsten ich weiß nicht. Da habe ich den Schlüssel übergeben und habe nochmal meine Meinung gesagt, dass das hier ungerechtmäßig passiert.
So this was the biggest blockade we did so far, and it kind of failed. So the family Gülbull was finally evicted, but yeah, Ali put it right when he said right after the eviction, the struggle has just begun. So the family is constantly with us and participating at every action. They're doing and giving interviews. They're translating from German to Turkish and the other way around. So they're one very important part of our meetings and of our platform. And they're being solidary with other affected people. And Stefan will tell you more about it.
Maybe to hurry a little bit. Yeah, if you have seen, it's like there was a report after this action. There were 850 policemen in charge of this eviction and a helicopter. So this was a really massive reaction from the state. So we are facing this, but we try to deal with this. I think I will go really quick through two other examples and cases which are just a little bit different and like gives perspectives on other possible actions maybe you also could take. And maybe we skip the video, I don't know, because we don't have time. The Kerimoglu case is also in Kreuzberg. They are a very old Turkish couple with their daughter, and they have been living in their flat for 30 years now. And he's also ill, he has Parkinson's syndrome. So the landlord in this case is a state-owned real estate company. And so this is an example for another constellation, political constellation, with other possible actions we could take. What we did there, we hold a sit-in the headquarters of the company, meaning we went in with 20 activists and the family and sat down on the floor. And our demand was to speak with the CEO of the company. This actually happened because we were like, okay, we're not going to leave until he's coming down. And so this kind of worked because like the combination of this action, a video we published from this action, also a press release, and some articles in the media. We kind of put on pressure on the state-owned company, like always referring to like the Sinn, Auftrag? Purpose, yeah, the purpose of a state-owned company, which is should be also a social purpose. So, and also what we did in this case, because it was a state-owned company, we consulted the mayor and also the social councillor of the borough and tried to get them on our side and the side of the family, and that they also put pressure on the state-owned company and the CEO. This was possible because Kreuzberg like is administrated by the Green Party, so it's like kind of, it wouldn't have worked in other boroughs of Berlin, but there it worked. So in the end, this was successful, and they offered the family a solution, which they accepted, and they still live in their flat. So this was kind of our first stopped eviction. And the other case we have to mention is the case of Rosemarie Vlies. She's a 60-year-old woman with a very difficult personality and a heavy illness. And she was facing an eviction by a private landlord, and she came to the platform around the 14th of February, when the big blockade was, and participated also in some other actions at other blockades. And in her case, we tried to get the court to stop the eviction because of her condition by getting medical proof for the court, also consulting the social councillor of the borough, writing open letters, address the media, and also called for a blockade and manifestations in front of her home. What we also did, we tried to involve the neighbors of her, what was in this case kind of difficult because she lives in an area which is not known for protest and direct actions like Kreuzberg, for example. But we tried it, and we called for a neighborhood assembly, putting up posters, etc. So the first attempt of the eviction was stopped by the court in the almost last moment. We were already standing in front of a house, the police were there, the bailiff were there, but the court got cold feet probably, and as a result of the media reaction. But after a review of the case, the court gave green light, and Rosemarie got evicted. What then happened? She died 2 days later in a social shelter, which was for us no surprise because we have knew her condition. So this was very tragic, of course. And on the other side, it initiated a wave of solidarity and media reaction in the whole country. like we got more attention, and yeah, it was like kind of a scandal. Like people were questioning the authorities, why could they allow this eviction, etc. So maybe one important thing for us is that the media right now covering the story is always focusing on this really single case, like try to put it or focus on a very tragic exception of what is happening. And we always try to say, this is no exception. It was maybe a coincidence that we were there and this got attention at all, but this is happening every week in the country. People are dying because of this system. So we try to counter this media strategy. So we are almost in the end, like we have to summarize. Like our platform, we are a group of approximately 50 active people. We have a variety of personal backgrounds. We are young and old, unemployed, workers, academics. We are activists and affected people together. We are still more activists than affected people. We have migrant people in our group, but still not enough. They are still not represented enough compared to population, and especially to the cases we have, because the big majority of the cases are migrant people. And what is important to say, a lot of women participate actively in the platform. We have a loose organization. We have no membership. We have almost no money. We do everything in our free time. There are no jobs in our organization. So we work. We have a weekly meeting of 4 hours. Yeah, it's every Monday from 7 to 11 p.m. Yeah, we're thinking about what we're gonna do, but because it keeps bigger and bigger. And we have additional meetings during the week where smaller groups work on single cases and other like issues like media work, etc. The forms of action, like we thought maybe it would be nice to like sum it up in a list, try to give inspiration for you. Like we make hidden blockades, like where we don't announce it publicly. We have public blockades, we have manifestations and demonstrations. We sometimes work with sit-ins where we go, like I told, when we go into like the headquarters of companies or like in the bureaus of a mayor or whoever, wherever. We also have, like, we call it go-ins, like where we like go directly to this person who's maybe can do something for the administration unannounced. We hold neighborhood assemblies, also information assemblies. We write open letters to like responsible persons, like owners or landlords, also like people in the administration, which also should address the media. We did something like a Mikrofonica, which we copied from Greece, where like we go unannounced with 20 people and a lot of megaphones through the neighborhood and try to inform people what's going to happen with their neighbor. We did a public action training to get people ready to blockade and know their rights and what they can do. And we also visiting the landlords at home. Yeah, what Laura already told.
Okay, he did my part, now I'm going to do his part. So one last thing is that we offer like legal support in advance of our big actions. So, and there's also legal support teams present at big blockades, for example. And we also do like public negotiation. We go and negotiate. We try to bring in a camera so that everyone can